This is Home Instruction Week 7 and 8. Writing. You are doing imaginary writing again because it is a spiral program where we start, we introduce it, and then we spiral and we come back stronger. So we have done imaginary writing. We have a little bit of background. We have a little more knowledge about writing. And now we are going to write our best imaginary story ever because this is our last one of the year. We are going to cover this for 2 weeks. Because I've noticed that when we do our finals, sometimes friends start to forget including those important things that we've learned all school year long. And we want to finish 2nd grade nice and strong, and we want to be prepared for when we get to 3rd grade, where the writing gets even more intense. Okay? So, pre-writing today. Page 7.3 is the page that you're going to need. We're going to outline the expectations for our imaginary writing piece. And then we're also going to talk about character traits on page 7.4. Okay, we're going to use that page to help organize our thinking before we even get to the writing part. Also, our character description. We've done this before. We use this page before we draw it or after we draw it. We want to get those details down of what's in our head of what our character looks like. We want to know how our character would speak, how our character would talk, how our character would behave, because then that helps give us an idea of how the character is going to act or behave in the story that we're writing and creating. Okay, so let's get started. Setting goals for your writing. Remember, these are the things that your story should include. You need a strong character. This is a made-up story. If you want to put yourself in the story, you can, but remember, you're not going to be talking or speaking in the words first person like I, me, we. It is going to be about your character, they, them. Okay? So if you want to have Captain Wesley, or if you want to have Superstar Seth, or if you want to have Rockstar Kara, those are fine. Just make sure you're not writing it in the first person. Okay? You want to use descriptive words and dialogue. And those descriptive words are those adjectives that we were just talking about, like when I showed you my gold box. You want to make sure that you're telling lots of details to help paint that picture in the reader's head. The plot includes the problem and the solution, which we're going to come up with. What's the problem in this story this time? What's the solution? You want to make sure that you have a beginning that gives the background of the story. How did this character get to the place that they are currently when we come into this story? Because otherwise, we, as the reader, won't know what's going on. The middle is the part that most of us struggle on. We want to make sure that story gives specific and relevant details that have to do with the topic, and we're not going off and rambling on about a different topic. And finally, the end is just as important because you want to make sure that it tells how the problem was solved and gives you a sense of close, like you know what happened, this is how it got there, and this is what happened at the very end. Make sure you follow all of the steps of the writing process so that you can include all these things and have the best story ever. So thinking about goals for yourself, I came up with a few goals for me. Your goals don't have to match my goals. These are goals that I would have for myself. Number 1, I want to create a strong character. Sometimes I feel like my characters just aren't strong enough to hold the reader's attention. I also want to include more dialogue. I put a little bit of dialogue in my stories, but my characters don't talk a lot, so I want to include dialogue. Some goals you might set for yourself might be, oh, I need to put more punctuation in my story. I'm forgetting to write my punctuation. There's a couple of you, I'm not going to call your name out. You have great stories, but you always forget to include the punctuation at the end of your sentences. That might be a goal that you set for yourself. Maybe you write one big, long story, but you never put any capital letters anywhere in your story. That might be a goal that you set for yourself. Maybe you write a really good beginning, but then forget to include the middle. That might be a goal. Write more in the middle. Maybe you always forget to put an ending on your story. Add an ending. Okay? Why are these your goals? Well, the reason why I chose create a strong character is because, remember, the character is the heart of the story. And if I don't make my character strong, then the story is not going to be as interesting to the reader. Why do I want to include dialogue? To make my characters more interesting, of course. I don't want them to be flat and boring. So that should help pick them up and make them a little more interesting for the readers when they're reading about my character. Moving on to character traits. Okay? So writing about your main character. First, start here. Who is my character? Give your character a name. What's your character's name is going to be? I used to write about my guinea pigs all the time, but now I'm a fur baby, fur mama of 2 cats. So I think I'm going to put in Leo and Indigo. And I know like Samaj likes to have extra characters. You don't have to only have 1 character. You can have 2 characters. Just make sure you include their information. I'm not sure why I put this C here. Leo and Indigo are my 2 cats that I have right now. So Leo is my boy cat. Indigo is my girl cat. And they have very different personalities, but I'm going to write about them. So physical traits. If you only have 1 character, you can write it straight across. If you have more characters, you might want to split the box to show their characteristics. So I'm going to put Leo on this side, and I'm going to put Indigo on this side. The physical traits has to do with what they look like. Okay, things like that, what they look like, their outside parts. So Leo is orange and white. So I'm going to put that there. He has stripes. He's tall. He has a pink nose. Indigo has black, orange fur. She doesn't have any stripes. She's kind of small. She has a black nose. So those are the physical traits that I'm going to talk about. Actions. Oh, what kind of actions? Leo is a jumper. He can jump really high. He's really fast. He's also a cuddle bug, so I'm going to say he's a cuddler. I think. Indigo. She's very smart. She knows how to solve tricky problems. She's patient. Actually, this doesn't go right here. Not the patient. I'll put that in the other one. She's smart. She's kind of sneaky. She likes to sneak up on me. She also likes cuddling. She likes to do flips. She's so crazy. She gets the zoomies, so she likes to run around. So I call them the zoomies because she zooms super fast and she just runs through the house like a crazy, crazy little kitty. Character traits. Things that describe what they're like on the inside. What kind of character would they be? So I would say Leo is curious. He's always trying to help me, and he's always, he's helpful too. He's helpful. He's curious. He's always trying to look at everything I'm touching. If I'm cooking, he wants to see what I'm cooking. If I'm opening up the dishwasher, he wants to get in the dishwasher. If I'm doing anything, he's right there trying to touch it or be helpful. So I have curious and helpful. I have to come up with another one for him. Indigo is brave. She's not afraid of anything. Well, she is afraid of the vacuum cleaner, but other than that, she's very brave. She is the first one to go touch everything, which drives me crazy. She's also kind. Leo is loving. When his sister was sick, he kept checking on her. Indy's brave. She's kind. And I guess she's also curious. Expressions. Expressions has to do with, like, it can be couple of things. Words that they might say. Like, what do you think your character might say? Or what kind of facial expressions, what do you think their face might look like? So I'm going to go with words that they might say. Leo might say, give me a hug, because he loves hugs. Indy might say, let's go get them. Oh, I forgot. I know what I want to say for Leo. He's adventurous. He's always trying to escape my house. He wants to get outside into the big wide world. So he might say, open that door. Okay. So now I have my character traits page. I have my characters mapped out on this page, kind of what I imagine they would look like, how they might behave, what they're like on the inside, and things that my characters might say. We have one more page to do. Your character's name. So what's the title of your story? You can fill in what your title of your story is going to be. I'm going to say The Adventures of Leo and Indy. Indy is Indigo's nickname. And then here you can give a little more detail about what your character looks like. If you didn't have space, you're going to tell, like, what would they wear. So even though Leo walks on all fours in my story, he's not going to. He's going to walk on two legs. Well, maybe I'll keep him on all fours, but I think I want him wearing clothes. So I think he's going to wear sneakers because he's fast, so he needs to have sneakers on his feet. Indigo is smart, so sometimes she likes to wear glasses when she's looking into something. She likes to do flips, so she wears pants because she can't be in a dress doing flips. What's my character like? Tell what kind of a little bit more details. Leo, always ready to listen. Indy likes solving mysteries. Okay. What my character does and why. Leo, always trying to escape. Indy, she actually likes to fight and wrestle. Always trying to escape. Oops. Why? Because he loves adventure. Indy, she likes to wrestle and fight. And I think the reason why is because she's the smallest. And she doesn't want anybody. She does not want anybody to think that she's weak. So she's always fighting and like flipping and starting stuff with her big brother. And now I'm finished for today. I've got my character traits page done, my character description page done. If you want, you can draw in your character's picture up here under your character's name. They left a lot of space. You can draw them in there, or draw, if you just have the one character, I would have to draw Indy and Leo in there. And you're done for today for your planning page. Tomorrow, we are going to read this imaginative story to get an idea of what we want to include in our imaginative story, so that we have all those things included in ours. All right, I can't wait to read about your imagination, rather about your imaginative characters. I love hearing your stories, so I look forward to it. Talk to you soon.